You've seen this person before. Maybe you work with them. Maybe you dated them. Maybe they're in your family. They walk into a room and everyone's attention shifts. They speak and people listen. They make a mistake and somehow it becomes a story about how bold they were. They fail at something and it's reframed as learning. And everyone believes them, including themselves. But here's what's actually happening beneath that confidence. Their brain is lying to them. And because their brain is lying so convincingly, yours believes it too. This is the hidden psychology of fake confidence. And it's more powerful than real confidence because it doesn't require actual competence. It only requires belief. We think confidence comes from success, from knowing you can do something because you've done it before. But that's not how the brain works. The brain doesn't distinguish between earned confidence and performed confidence. It just responds to the signal. And the scariest part? Fake confidence spreads. It's contagious. When someone's brain believes their own lie, it hijacks everyone around them into believing it too. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how this works, how the brain creates fake confidence, why it's so persuasive, why you might be doing it without realizing it, and most importantly, what separates fake confidence from authentic belief. Because understanding this changes everything about how you see people and how you see yourself. Before we get into how fake confidence works, you need to understand something fundamental about your brain. It doesn't care about the truth. It cares about consistency. Your brain's job isn't to see reality accurately. It's to protect you, to keep you alive, to maintain a stable sense of self. So when someone acts confident, when they speak with certainty, when they move decisively, your brain registers that as a signal, not a signal of competence, just a signal of certainty. And certainty, to your brain, equals safety. Because certainty means they know what they're doing, or at least that's what your brain infers. But here's the problem. Confident behavior and competent behavior look identical to an outside observer. You can't tell the difference just by watching someone. You can only tell the difference by watching the results. And results take time, so in the moment, you're making a judgment based entirely on performance, not reality. 1. The conviction effect. The brain processes conviction differently than it processes doubt. When someone speaks with absolute certainty, no hedging, no qualifiers, your brain treats that as credibility. "We should do this" triggers a different neural response than, "I think we might consider doing this." The first one is a command. The second one is a suggestion. Your brain treats them as different levels of authority. The person speaking with fake conviction isn't lying consciously. They've already convinced themselves. Their brain has run through the scenario, built a narrative, and locked into a story. This is the genius of fake confidence. It's not a performance. It's a delusion that becomes real through repetition. And once it's real to them, it becomes contagious to everyone around them. 2. The illusion of competence. There's a phenomenon called the Dunning-Kruger effect. But the deeper truth is that the brain can't tell the difference between knowing something and being confident about something. So someone who knows 10% of what they need to know but is 90% confident looks identical to someone who knows 90% and is 90% confident. The only difference? Results. But results take time. And in a world where first impressions matter, confidence wins before competence ever gets a chance to prove itself. This is why fake confident people often rise quickly in careers. They make bold decisions without the paralysis of doubt. They commit to ideas before analyzing them to death. And sometimes, just sometimes, those bold moves work out. 3. The narrative override. Your brain doesn't experience reality. It experiences the story it tells about reality. Someone with fake confidence has constructed a narrative about themselves. And here's the insidious part. Once someone believes their own narrative, they unconsciously edit their memories to fit it. They remember the times they were right. They forget the times they doubted themselves. So when they talk about their past, they're not lying. They're just experiencing a different version of events than what actually happened. And because their memories are genuine to them, they tell it with absolute conviction. 4. The borrowed credibility trap. Fake confident people are incredibly good at one thing: finding experts and borrowing their credibility. They mention a study they read about. They reference a mentor. But here's what's actually happening. They're using the authority of experts to prop up their confidence. They're saying, "This thing I'm claiming is backed by science," when really they just heard about it once. And the genius is that you usually don't fact-check them in the moment. By the time you realize they misrepresented the study, the damage is done. They've already shaped your perception. 5. The inverse doubt principle. Here's something counterintuitive. The more doubt someone has, the more confident they sound. This is because doubt creates anxiety. and anxiety creates a drive to convince. People with doubt work harder to convince you, but the person who's genuinely confident and secure, they don't need to convince you. They don't need to explain themselves. They know what they know. But the person with fake confidence, they're internally uncertain, so they compensate by being externally aggressive. They assert more forcefully. They argue more passionately. They take up more space. And this is where it gets interesting. This aggressive certainty actually makes people more credible, not less. Because we associate passion with belief, and we associate belief with truth. This is why the loudest person in the room often wins the argument, even when they're wrong. Understanding this changes everything about how you see people and how you see yourself. 6. The momentum multiplier. Fake confidence creates momentum, and momentum creates more confidence. Someone acts confident. People respond as if they're competent. That response validates their confidence, so they become more confident, which makes people respond more positively. It's a feedback loop, and if it goes unchecked, it can go very far before reality catches up. This is why fake confident people often experience early success. They're riding a wave of momentum that has almost nothing to do with their actual ability, but the success feels real. So by the time they hit a wall, by the time they take on something they actually can't do, they've already built such a strong narrative of success that they reframe the failure as a learning experience or bad luck. And because they keep moving forward, they keep accumulating wins and losses, and the wins stick out more in their memory. Where fake confidence comes from. Now you understand how fake confidence works, but where does it come from? Why do some people develop it and others don't? There are really 3 sources. First, childhood environment. Someone grew up in an environment where confidence was rewarded and doubt was punished, where admitting uncertainty meant losing approval, so they learned to fake it. Second, early success without depth. Someone had a win that was largely lucky, but they attributed it to their own brilliance. They sound confident about many things, but understand deeply about none. Third, high sensitivity to judgment. Instead of seeming uncertain and risking criticism, they become aggressively certain. It's overcorrection, it's armor, and over time, the armor becomes their identity. Importantly, most people with fake confidence aren't consciously deceiving you. Their brain genuinely believes what they're saying, which makes them incredibly convincing. The real cost of fake confidence. Here's what nobody talks about. Fake confidence is exhausting because it requires constant performance, constant validation. Someone with genuine confidence, real confidence built on actual competence, doesn't need constant external validation. They know what they know. They've tested it. They've lived it. But someone with fake confidence, they need people to believe. Because if people stop believing, they have to face the reality that they're not actually as competent as they thought. This is why people with fake confidence often become toxic the moment you question them. Because questioning them isn't just disagreeing, it's threatening their entire sense of self. They can't hear criticism because criticism feels like proof that their narrative is false. So they get defensive, they attack, they reframe. And here's the real cost. People with fake confidence often destroy relationships, careers, and opportunities because they can't adapt. They can't admit mistakes. They can only keep performing. So the question isn't, is fake confidence powerful? It is. The question is it sustainable? And the answer is no. Eventually, reality catches up. Eventually, performance fails. How to build real confidence. Strategy. 1. Separate confidence from performance. Real confidence isn't about how you appear. It's about how much you've tested yourself. It's about failure. Real confident people put themselves in situations where they might fail. They ask for feedback, they seek challenges, and every time they survive one, their actual confidence increases. Strategy 2. Build competence. First, confidence second. This is the hard way, the slow way, but it's the only way that actually works. You learn a skill deeply, you practice it, you fail at it. This is why craftspeople are often quiet, why experts are often humble, why the most competent people in the room are often the ones who speak the least. They know what they know. Strategy 3. Embrace doubt as a signal. The best performers in any field have healthy doubt, not paralyzing doubt, but doubt that says, I could be wrong about this, so I should check. This doubt is actually a superpower. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you learning. Fake confident people see doubt as a weakness. Real confident people see doubt as a tool. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You might be doing this right now. You might be performing confidence in areas where you actually have doubt. You might be making bold claims about things you don't fully understand. Because we live in a world that rewards certainty, that punishes doubt, that confuses confidence with competence, so we all learn to fake it to some degree. The question isn't whether you're doing it. The question is, are you aware that you're doing it? Awareness is the first step. You can keep performing, or you can start actually learning. The most dangerous confidence is the kind that doesn't know it's fake. So pay attention to when you're most certain, because that's often when you're most wrong. Watch for people who never admit mistakes. They're not confident, they're afraid. Watch for people who get defensive. They're not secure, they're fragile. And watch yourself, because self-awareness is the only real confidence there is. Understanding this changes everything.